This is about to be a tough one, and I know I'm gonna cry. I know I'm gonna cry, and I'm gonna hate that I'm gonna cry, but I've been trying not to cry about this situation all day, and I don't personally give a fuck if people don't agree with me. If people don't agree with what the fuck I have to say, none of it. I don't care. I really don't. My attitude towards all of this is completely changed since I recorded. So I guess let's just let's go. So I originally recorded this whole episode covering the secret life of Mormon wives. Ironically, um, although I checked my audio the whole time, I don't know if it was the background that was loud or there was something going on, but I have no audio. So the entire episode that I recorded about the secret lives of Mormon wives, part one, didn't get recorded. And I think that that is because there's something else that needs to be talked about here. And you guys are probably not going to like my opinion. This is going to be really hard for me to say. As a lot of you have seen unfold throughout this week, the new season of The Bachelorette was getting ready to be released. They were in the press of it. And on the helms of this, on the helms of the press day, Taylor Frankie Paul's ex and father of one of her kids put out allegations on Taylor Frankie Paul and of domestic violence. The story has continued to unfold. We, as people, obviously don't know truly what is going on. When I first recorded, I talked about this, but there was a video that was released today, which is also very interesting timing. And we're going to talk about that. That showed Taylor Frankie Paul's behavior in 2023 that she was accused of and that she had pled guilty to. Why is this important? Obviously, because new charges are being brought upon her, but also because it seems very calculated. The release of all of these things, it's hard to see. And you guys don't know me, but I've said this about things that aren't just against women. I've said this about things that are against people, men, whatever. It's hard to see when someone is getting ready to prosper, is getting ready to have these beautiful exchanges, have opportunities, really grow in their life, and those opportunities to be shut down by men and by the choices of men not wanting to see a woman that they used to be with, that they used to date, that anything, the mother of their child, succeed. This is such a personal subject to me. If you do not know, I grew up in a household that had domestic abuse displayed. If you do not know, I was in a 8-year relationship with someone who was a liar and a cheater. And although I had the wherewithal to not get into a physical altercation, there were several moments of my life, especially in that relationship, where I was not sane. And there were threats towards the end of that relationship from someone who the person who I was with was cheating on with, and a situation that had gone on for months, probably longer, gone on for months for my knowledge, definitely longer for other people, the lies and everything. That when I decided I wanted to get out of it, I no longer wanted to be in the cycle that I had been stuck in for 8 years. I'd lost friends. I've had fights with my friends about it. When I decided I wanted to get out and I wanted to break the cycle, I was threatened with videos of me that were of a certain nature, that were private, that because I wasn't behaving or operating the way one person in this 3-person ended up situation, not by choice, that all of my business was threatened to be put out into the universe. That was something that I dealt with multiple times. I have been a victim to a situation that is not only toxic, but detrimental, and I've been unable to leave. One of the things that I've noticed with this Taylor Frankie Paul situation is that when she is finding her footing to escape, when she is maybe, from what we don't know, finding her way out, she's being dragged back under. And we're going to think critically here. And I know that for some of you that might be really hard, but we're going to try, because the only way to get an understanding of this is to understand how the system operates. That's definitely something that we're going to try to do. So let's talk about it. The evidence in the video, and yes, I've watched the video, and I'm going to be petty real quick before I talk about it. A lot of y'all are getting off on the fact that this situation involves a woman who could potentially be involved in domestic violence. A lot of you are getting off. And it's almost as if you need this as an indicator, as a justifier to malicious behavior by men. And once again, we said that we're going to speak critically. So let's speak critically. When you watch the video, you see a girl clearly unhinged. It's not someone who is angry. It's not someone who is furious. It's someone who is sad and who is broken. While she is unfortunately throwing the chairs, what you see is a girl who is broken, who is hurt. What she says is, "You did this to me. Why did you do this to me?" And one of the lowest points in her life that is solely based off of the abuse that she experienced from this man is being videotaped. And one of the things, you pay attention to the video, this person is not trying to escape truly from this situation. This person is continuing to record the situation. And although it may seem like they're not adding to the fuel to the fire, the in-betweens are very clear that they are adding fuel to the fire. It seems like a situation that really heated and hurtful. And it really seems like we are watching someone's emotional breakdown. And I'm an advocate for mental health and mental health awareness. And what we are witnessing in this video is someone having a breakdown. And then, instead of sharing the video that he claims that he has of her in the act while she's doing it, recently he shares a video of a situation she's already confessed to, done her time for, and has already been punished in the media for. And that was not enough for him. This is how this man treats the mother of his child. This is how this man decides to celebrate their son's birthday. And it's giving blackmail. It's giving, I didn't get what I want. You didn't do what I want. So now I'm going to hurt you. And we're just eating it up. And this is one of the reasons why when I talk about pop culture, and I've had many, many conversations about that I don't just talk about people's mental illness. I don't make comments about situations where people are clearly having a breakdown, because it's unfair. There's a difference between someone being evil and experiencing evil. And what we are watching is someone experience evil. When I watched the season of The Secret Life of Mormon Wives, what was abundantly clear was that Dakota wants to hurt Taylor. What has become abundantly clear, even more now in this situation, is that Dakota wants to hurt Taylor. I didn't finish the season yet. Originally, I was recapping only the first part, but when you get to the end, you see how many times Dakota has hurt Taylor. You see how many times this woman has broken down about this man and his choices and his decisions and everything that he has done. You see a woman be emotionally abused by a man, a woman that becomes hooked on the pain because only after she experiences that pain does he get nice to her. Does he tell her he loves her? Does he give her the thing that she's been looking for from him the entire time? Dakota has lied from the start of their relationship till the end of it. Dakota has cheated from the start of their relationship till the end of it. And meanwhile, he has been allowed to have a platform where he can gaslight her, where he can emotionally abuse her, where he can put her down, where he can cause chaos in her life. And unfortunately, we, the viewers, helped give him that platform. And now, unfortunately, he's using that platform to bring her down. And not only that, she potentially broke again and lost another piece of herself again and is not given the grace to be able to do that in private. A lot of people get mad at me when I say things despairing about men, but I want you to look at how this situation is being handled and how all of a sudden, in situations before when domestic violence is accused in men, there's uproar, there's questions about what did the woman do to deserve this? What did she do? How did she egg him on? But when it comes to a situation with a woman, it's she's wrong. There is more. We as a society are taught to excuse men's behavior. A man can get away with doing almost anything. Look at our current government. Look at who runs it. Look at the convictions of the people who are running our company, or sorry, our country right now. Running our country right now. Not canceled, not made to stop, not made to no longer continue his journey. But when a woman shows humanity, when a woman shows a reaction to extreme emotional abuse and maybe physical abuse, there is stories that Dakota was physically abusive to her or to someone in the past. We pounce. We don't give the same grace. We don't give the same time for understanding. We're looking at Epstein files right now that depicts the most deplorable behavior, and we still won't hold those people accountable. But what we're asking right now is a girl from Utah that we watch on our TV screens to bear the brunt force of this situation and of all domestic violence situation. Because what men want to do right now is say, see, look, it's women too. They want to take the blame away from them. I grew up in a household that had domestic violence, and I don't talk about it a lot. And I witnessed things that were the worst things I could ever imagine happen. And I saw the way that it breaks people down, the way that it destroys your life. Watched my mom's life be destroyed systematically, not just physical abuse, but abuse of all kinds. I watched it. And then I experienced it myself with emotional abuse. And I watched me lose every single ounce of myself to a man who said that he loved me, but hurt me and lied to me and found loopholes and excuses and reasons to why he did it. And that is what I'm seeing right now. When I was recording this earlier, I said that The Secret Life of Mormon Wives showed exactly why choosing your partner is so important. And we We don't always grow up with the best pickers. I pick the wrong people all the time. I picked the people that hurt me. I picked the people who didn't love me. I picked the people who gaslit me for so much of my life. There's no words to talk about how much time it took to bring myself back. How many things that I did, how many friends that I've lost, how many parts of my life that I can never have back. My 20s, my teenage years. And when I tried to speak out for what happened to me, I was attacked. I was attacked for why am I bringing it up? Why am I attacking the people who set out to hurt me? Why am I telling my story? I kept it all in. But I've been a victim of men wanting to hurt me. And when I see Taylor Frankie Paul, that's what I see. Some of you are going to be like, well, that's just projection. It could be. But I'm generally good at assessing a situation and watching on a public forum men on reality TV right now try to bring down women like it's a sport has been one of the hardest things for me to watch. And this goes back to when we were covering Traitors. And Rob was applauded for how well he deceived and brought down women, how well he got women to believe in him, to trust him, and then betrayed them. And that's the scariest part about all of this. And I really want us to all pay attention to that, is how dangerous a toxic man can really be. In a few weeks, I'll be releasing a podcast that talks about how we as women and the younger generation can start to really look for those things, the indicators, those red flags, even some of those beige flags of a man who just wants to hurt you. And they're out there. People got so mad when I said that Black men get off of hurting women, and they do, Black women specifically. And I think it happens interracially. There's something that's going on right now. There's something in the air right now that's making these men more volatile. And they have a platform now. They have people excusing their behavior. They have friends. Dakota's friends excused his behavior over and over and over again instead of holding him accountable. Taylor's friends held her accountable. Dakota's friends did not. Dakota's friends, they lied for him, aided and abetted him, hyped him up while he continued to take the light out of Taylor Frankie Paul. From the moment he met her, he lied. He slept with women, he lied. They take a break, he tries to get back. In the meantime, while he's trying to get back to her, the whole time he's talking to other women. That is psychological torture. Anyone who's been through any kind of breakup knows that how bad that is. But imagine that. Imagine you wake up one day and you think that this text message, that this person that says that they love you is real. And you believe it and you trust it and you get back together with them. And then you find out that it was all a lie. And you want so deeply and so desperately for it not to be a lie that you do whatever it takes to make it so. I've known so many women get beaten and broken by men. And what you may see on the surface is a woman enraged and crazy and hooked on the drama. I see a woman suffering. I see a woman consistently trying to find a way out, but not really sure how to do it. Interestingly, the only person that has lied in the situation between Dakota and Taylor from the beginning is Dakota. When it hurts, when it's terrible, when it's ugly, Taylor has said her piece and she spoke the truth. That's what she's known for. Owning her shit, whether it's hard or not. There was a comment on the Vile Files and on social media that whenever Taylor's about to win, Dakota sabotages all of her chances. He picks fights with her to piss her off, to hurt her so she doesn't go do things. He emotionally abuses her. The hard part is that there are also a lot of studies that show that women who are abused physically or just emotionally eventually abuse back so that they can feel powerful, so they can feel like they have something, or just simply because they go so insane. There was a situation once, a man knew that I was broken because of the situation with the lying, cheating ex, knew that I was broken and used that to inch his way into my life. Knew that I was lacking love and I was feeling unloved in every aspect of my life. And I walked away from the thing that I thought loved me the most. And he used that. He made promises of a family, of security, of a friendship that would stay. And then he did it. And I did things that I am not proud of. And I broke down so many times of the mental gymnastics about the things that were promised to me that I was being made to feel crazy. And I remember I called the suicide hotline and I thank the universe every day for them, for all that they do, for all that they do for people, for all that they do for everyone out there who needs help. I was feeling so low and so I don't even know if I have the words about a situation that I felt like I was being crazy and everybody else was telling me that I was being crazy. And I talked to someone and this has stuck with me since it happened in like 2016, 2017. They said, "You're not crazy. You are trying to make sense of everybody else's crazy, and that is what is hurting you. You're the sane one in this situation, but everyone else around you is behaving and expecting like something from you that is insane. Everyone else around you is behaving in a way that is detrimental. And because they're doing that, you are convincing yourself that you are crazy and you are responding how someone in your situation would respond. And they are not allowing you or giving you that grace to do it. As women, we're not often given grace as much as people like to say differently. Look at the Blake Lively situation. I've been wanting to talk about that for a while, but look at the Blake Lively situation. The tactic of Justin Baldoni is not really been to say that he didn't do these things, but to say that she was such an evil bitch, that she's such an unlikable person. He decided to attack her character, to defend himself, to protect himself from his own bad behavior, and not just against her, against many other women. He chose that. He did. As a woman, I hate to sit here and I hate to watch this just continuously play out. I hate to see so many women not have the resources, the opportunity, the knowledge to get out of things. I wish I could do more. All the time, I wish I could do it. My voice is so small. I've been fighting a really long time to hope that my voice gets bigger, to hope that the things that I've been advocating for and talking about can reach people, that maybe it'll reach someone listening now. It's sad to see. It was sad to see in that video. It's sad to see now. And what I do hope and what I do truly believe is one thing: the truth will out. What is meant to come out will. And while we're holding these women in society accountable for the actions of men, and women have been held accountable for the actions of men for centuries, that one day we will get that justice. That one day Taylor Frankie Paul will realize that she is worth so much more than this and that this doesn't break her. And you know what? We don't even give a shit about her mental health. That this man has launched a smear campaign against her at what could be considered the height of her career. We don't give a shit about her mental health. We don't give a shit about what this is doing to her. And him, as the father of her child, wanting to put that video out there, even though the situation had been resolved, even though the situation went to court, even though the situation ended, wanting to put that video out there at this exact time says a lot. Always pay attention, not to people's words, but to people's actions. It'll always tell you more. when people are doing something, why they are doing something, how they are doing it. This is direct information that Dakota is feeding to TMZ. This is him searching out ABC to tell ABC that she's not ready. This is him trying to ruin her at every single moment. I don't know what goes on in behind closed door, and I imagine that Taylor plays some part in that. I won't pretend that at all. But I will say that the way that someone moves, when someone moves, that's important. When I used to work at Dave & Buster's, I had a friend, her name was Cassie, and she said to me once, "You don't really say much sometimes." I was like, "No." She's like, "But you see a lot." Yeah, she's like, "I watch you and you're always watching." Mhm. I am. I'm always watching. I'm always taking in information. I'm always analyzing. What does it say about these people? What does it say about these situations? All of that. I'm always paying attention. Best believe I am. Because when you do that, you see how people move. And I've learned to do that the hard way. I've learned that I needed to do that through things that I've experienced in my life. But pay attention. Just pay attention. Because what the media wants you to see isn't always the truth. Again, you look at the Huda situation. Recently, it was reported by TMZ that Huda was sending threatening messages to Lewis's baby mama about the child and everything. A day later, it came out that entire story was false. That entire narrative was false. And so what I hope for Taylor Frankie Paul is that one day she gets to stand in the sunshine of her truth. She owns up to the part that she played, but she gets to stand in the sunshine of her truth. My best friend committed suicide. This is the first time I'm going to say this, and it's going to cause so much drama. Part of the reason why my best friend committed suicide was because she was in an abusive relationship. And I watched it destroy her, and I watched it destroy our friendship. And I watched her break herself backwards and convince herself. And I watched it hurt her. And the people around her watched it hurt her. And she believed these things that were said to her. She wasn't good enough and she didn't deserve this. And I watched a man destroy her. And then I walked away. Not because of that, but because she pushed everybody else away, and because she didn't know what to do and she didn't know how to handle it. And the night that she took her life, and she got into the biggest fight with her husband, and she wanted to leave the situation. She had messaged friends asking if she could stay with them to leave the situation, but she didn't. She didn't. She never got out. And that's the reality of these situations where it's physical abuse or emotional abuse. Sometimes they don't get out. Sometimes there's not a happy ending at the end of this. And while we are all applauding this man, I wish that we could take a second to really see what he's doing and how it can hurt her. I would give anything to know what the right way to handle that situation was. And I'm not going to pretend like Jessica didn't give back, but it was reactive. And I imagine if someone would have recorded Jessica as she was reacting to an abuse and painted her out to be the bad guy. She was so afraid of what everyone was going to think about her, what would happen if everybody knew. And she couldn't live in that. She couldn't stand in that. So she did what she thought was her only option. And now I don't have my best friend anymore. That's the real life consequences of these relationships that we're just glancing over and just talking about and judging casually as if there aren't real statistics. I lost my best friend to something just like this. Never gonna get her back. And watching it on TV, that was hard. And I didn't even really understand it until now. To all the women who are in situations like this and who are going to feel judged, just know I don't judge you. I see you and I see what you're struggling with and I see your pain and I see how hard it is and how hard you're trying. And I need you to know there is 100% another side. There is an other side to this. There's an other side to the pain and you can survive it. And it may feel like your whole world is falling apart, and it is. I've had to rebuild my entire life without my best friend, and I've had so many people walk away from me, knowing that I'm at the lowest point in my life, knowing that I checked myself in for suicide and not caring. People don't like messy, especially when it is with women. People will stick around for messy with men. People would do a lot of stupid shit for messy with men, but they do not like messy with women. And people will leave you when you're at your lowest like that because they don't know what to do and they don't know how to handle it. But to everyone who is listening to this and who is in a situation, whether it's domestic abuse or emotional abuse or whatever, just a cheating, toxic cycle, you can break it. I did. I walked away and I didn't think I was ever going to love again. And although I'm not dating now, I know one day I will. I know one day I will find the people who are meant to be with me. One of the hardest days of my life was walking away from him because I loved him. I thought that he was my soulmate, and I realized I was wrong. And I had to bite the bullet, and my life was not easy after that. And after other situations, I've been depressed and I've been broken and I've battled health issues among all of that. But the other side, what I've learned, how I've grown, the opportunities that I'm having right now, it's all worth it. Don't ever let a person determine your worth. Even if it's not a man, if it's your mom, if it's your dad, if it's your brother, whatever. Don't ever let a person determine your worth. Don't ever let a person determine what you can and cannot do. Your life matters. And I'm so sorry that Taylor Frankie Paul has the worst moments of her life public for everyone to judge and say something about. And I send my love and I send my blessings to her and her family and her kids because her kids are now being dragged into this because of this man. Taylor, you're gonna make it out of this. I promise. On everything, you are going to make it out of this. And one day, as hard as this lesson is, you will see the other side. Just please hang on. As someone whose friend, whose sister left her, please hang on. And to all of these people that are judging, wait. Be kind and be cautious and be careful. There's so many people that you give excuses for. Chris Brown, all kinds of people who have done terrible things to women that you still support, and you go to their concerts and they get all of that no matter what they do. Show some compassion and show some love. I'm going to end it here. I didn't even expect to talk this long. I was supposed to be covering The Bachelorette with my friend and sister Maya, but I don't know what's going to come next for recap, so I can't let you guys know. But be kind to yourself and be kind to others and be kind to this world. I will talk to you all next time. Bye.
And that is
That changes
what you can say
everything.
instead of saying I can't afford it or it's too expensive. Because first of all, technically, you probably could afford it. If you have a credit card, if you have a debit card, if you have a little extra, if you want to go sell something online, like you technically could, and you don't want to exactly. You don't want to reinforce that belief that you can't, but that doesn't mean you have to go. Just say that is not in alignment with where I'm putting my money right now. So focus in on like what are your language, what are your beliefs, because that's going to tell you where your subconscious mind is at. Like the things that just come out of your mouth, without you thinking about it are what your subconscious beliefs are. Those are the neural pathways that are just running on automatic mode without you having to consciously be aware of what you're doing. And by changing your language and like taking that moment of pause, you're going to
Mhm.
create new neural pathways that are in alignment with the abundance money mindset that you want to create. And you're going to
Mhm.
start quieting that scarcity money.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think that I get caught up in that a lot and I'm trying to change it. And it's so, but like, here's the thing that people don't talk about. It's so hard.
Yes.
It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not something that's another thing that frustrates me about the TikTok stuff, is it's not like you go to bed, you say these things, you wake up, the next day you have one. You like you were saying about conscious reprogramming, like, it takes time. That's one of the things that when I pulled my tarot cards yesterday, it was like, this all started with this, situation with a guy that you were drawn into, and that led to this, and that led to everything falling apart, and which was the Tower card. And if you guys don't know anything about tarot, the Tower card literally means everything is falling apart. And I've never lived in my tower energy more than in this moment in my life. Like, everything around me is legit. I really wish I could make it up. It's legitimately falling apart. But the beautiful thing about it is that it does it because whatever foundation you've built wasn't a foundation that was stable. It was a foundation that you built because you were just learning or you were just growing. And,
Yeah.
the whole major arcana of tarot is a journey. And then, when you start like the Fool's Journey in the beginning, you're just kind of getting in touch with it. You know what I mean? And when you're just learning, you're not building the right foundation. You're building the foundation based off of the knowledge that you have. But
Yeah.
to get to your actual final goal, you have to really do work of tearing yourself apart so that you can rebuild yourself in the right way.
1,000%. I always say, like, at the end of the day, you have to be consistent. And again, like, I'm a neuroscientist. It's everything I do is proven and backed by neuroscience. And they say
Hmm.
it takes 10,000 repetitions to create a new neural pathway. So
Hmm.
you have to be on it. And that's why I love coaching and like why that's where I see the power in long term coaching because a lot of people need that accountability. A lot of
Hmm.
people need that support to be able to check in with someone every single day and be like, I've done the things that I need to do, and this is what I'm struggling with today. This is what I'm doing good with, and to continuously keep it on the top of your mind. That's also why most of my like courses, my main course, Rewire for Rich, gives subconscious reprogramming tools, and it's 21 days because 21
Hmm.
days to start building a new neural connection, you need at least 21 days to do that. And
Yeah.
so everything is set up to provide the consistency because at the end of the day, that's what you need. You need consistency, and it's normal for people to fall off, and it's even
Hmm.
more normal for people to stay off when they fall off. Like getting back on is the hardest part because people feel like they lose progress. It's not worth it anymore. I have to start from the beginning.
Hmm.
And with this, it's not starting from the beginning. That neural pathway is still there. You just have
Hmm.
to start reinforcing it again and activating it again. But if you fall off and you lose 3 months and you don't do it, just start again.
Just get back on it.
Just get back
Just
on it.